Y'all, look, um, that was some research that I was doing, and I told a brother on Facebook today. It was actually my brother-in-law, and I told him that um, I'm gonna, what I'm trying to do is get me some literature because, when because it's hard when you get out here. I'm not gonna say, hold on, wait, let me back up. Let me not speak so fast. I want to be able to people that be in a hurry. I want to be able to give them some information immediately right away because some people you have to do that too because a lot of people ain't gonna waste. I mean, not no time. When you're trying to give them this information, they're not gonna do. They're not willing to stop. Now, if you're a so-called white man or European or whatever, our people been in such a condition and been so conditioned is to they too our people is too ashamed is to identify themselves. We're too ashamed. Now, I'm not. If, am I guilty and partially and somewhat what guilty of that? Yes, because when you look at yourself, when I look at myself, or sometimes in the past, like in my 20s and stuff, I kind of dealt with a little bit of low self-esteem, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you feel like you ain't good enough and you ain't all these different things and all that kind of stuff. Even though a lot of people have the issue with we had a lot, although we have a lot of issue color issues and stuff like that, but I want to break it down that it's not even about color, it's about nation of people. But we know that as far as the so-called blacks, Hispanics, the Negroes, Native American people and stuff like that, we know that we do deal with this colorism issue. It's so many different things I can't even name them all at once that we're dealing with. You see what I'm saying? I want to say this why it's on my spirit. Um, the people of North Africa. Um, what we got to do, we got to start doing our research and get this color thing out of our head because the people of North Africa would be like what the Libyans and the Ethiopians and people and Somalis and things of that nature. And when we get into this thing called the pheno, am I saying it right? Phenotypes, nose structure, thin lips, flat nose, and all that type of stuff. When you got some people who are jet black, right? Jet black, uh, what they call black as tar, right? Or whatever they want to call it. And they got thin lips and thin nose. And I read something, and I'm gonna finish reading because I got to make sure I'm giving all the words properly. Because a lot of these words, I'm going in. It's like I'm going into these Greek words, and it's like some of them are very hard to break down because some of them got 14, 15, 16 letters in it at one time, and words I never got. So I'm working on them. That's the only because I don't want to step out here and be reading something and just be like, people like, what the hell is he? He need to go do some extra reading. He don't know what the hell he's saying. What is he reading? Or what is he trying to read? Or something like that. So that's one of. I'm not trying to uh, use it as a paralyzing to paralyze me and make an excuse. The reason why, because let me tell you something. When I give people information, I want to give them the right, correct information. When I step out here and when I speak on some things, I'm giving people the right. I'm giving my people, my people, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the right information to properly educate my people in the right direction. That's what I want to do, to properly educate, because not just everybody, because this message that I'm talking about, even Esau, the other nations, the Arabs, the Saudi Arabians, the Somalis, they know deep down within that this message is not made for them. You see what I'm saying? So it's only made for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, according to Matthew 15 and 24. So I do have some videos a year old now that I went to. I said, let me go out and give it a test because I want to see what it feels like. Because I do have a desire to get out here and so on and so forth. So I wrote up me some stuff today. I'm gonna write up me and make sure I have enough pamphlets to where I can give out to people. You see what I'm saying? And just give them a general idea, and then put Deuteronomy 28 and 68 down, and tell them to go look it up and this and that, and who came over here on slave ships, and this and that and the third, and it would kind of like give them a general idea, give them start them off with milk, you know what I mean, like babies and stuff like that. So that's what I want to do, give them the basics, and as long as they understand Deuteronomy 28 and 68, and I want to do the best that I can is to help my people educate my people as I'm educating myself. So the people, matter of fact, let me see if I can quote that. I don't want to mess up these words. I don't want to mess up the reading of this here. I'm gonna have to sit it down because I'm holding my camera or whatever. Hold on, I'm about to set it down. Well, let me do this here right quick. And I'm gonna be quoting from Babylon Temple of Two, people. Babylon Temple of Two. All right. Matter of fact, I put my fridges on my look, y'all. I'm so happy about it, man. See that? I'm very happy about those fridges, man. All right, let's go into Babylon Temple of Two. What page that is? Uh, I used to have a hard time. I'm trying to trying to find these pages and stuff like that. But I think I'm getting okay, and I'm trying because I'm new. I'm actually hold on, excuse me. I'm actually new to this stuff. I'm still new to it. I still feel like I'm new to it, even though I've been in here like 4 years and something. Okay, let's look at this down here. Minute. Okay, the final deception of the black uh, blacks of North Africa or something like that. Early in North African, many scholars call the inhabitation of North Africa barbarous, but I shall not do so. I do not like this world barbarous. First of all, it is not a native word of African. Therefore, it is misleading. It is misleading. The Greeks and the Romans called the people of North Africa barbarous, which means barbers, which mean barbarians. However, the people of this region have their own names. The unbased Greeks historian Herodotus made honor by given unto him, given the original names of the tribes of North Africa, beginning from Egypt and extended to the Atlantic Ocean. They are as follows. Okay, now let me go down and I'm gonna get something. It says the Herodotus says there are four nations in Africa. Two are indigenous Ethiopians and Libyans, and the Phoenicians. Those are like the Africans. The Phoenicians and Greeks are newcomers. Herodias considered all of the North African tribes to be Libyans. The Herodias considered all of North African tribes to be Libyans. That's like Ethiopians. And all the Africans belong the Syrian he called Ethiopians. These are his two indigenous nations in Africa. The original inhabitation of North Africa was Hamites. These Hamites are black like the Egyptians, and this point has been proven by Herodotus because most of the hold on, wait, hopefully I got it. All right. Most of the history of the Western world has been distorted, and because hold on, y'all, and becomes necessary for me to explain to you some of these distorters, says Heinrich Bro, and excuse me, a European writer. The inhabitations, the inhabitation of uh, a a water are a mixed race of blacks and whites. Okay, I don't know if y'all understood that properly because a lot of these words are very hard. Now, the question is, whom does he include as his whites continues. The whites are whites in ancient times. This is his base for calling them whites. The obvious reason is that he wants to attribute ancient advantage civilizations to the white race in order to perpetuate philosophy of white supremacy. Many black excuse me, many black people have straight noses and thin lips. The black people that possess these qualities are said to have a white morphology. But I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to go back and look that up. And it's a form Joseph Williams has this to say about the black of West Africa, the blacks of West Africa. In most mixed groups of Negroes, uh, you may this is may be identified as first glance has skin is black as theirs and certainly, but nothing in his mask conforms to their well-known characteristics. The nose of the nose is straight and long pointed rather than flat. The lips are comparatively thin and the mouth wide rather than prominent and broad, while the eyes are deeply set and straight in their orbits. A curiosity glance shows that profit the profile resembles that of the Europeans. Some European some European writers even portrayed unto the blackest Africans. Some European writers even portrays into the blackest African and divide the blacks according to their shape of their noses and lips. Continues continues. Williams, the the soothsayers thought black skin and woolly hair. Their futures are often of Caucasian. They are There are many colored people in the United States with straight noses and thin lips, even as black as tar. And the Europeans do not classify these colored people as belonging to the white race. After extensive research, my conclusion is this: some European writers have classified certain tribes in Africa and Asia as belonging to the white race. Let's read that again. After extensive research, my conclusion is this: some European writers have classified certain tribes in Africa and Asia as belonging to the white race. They do this as long as it is psychologically they do this as long as it is psychological advantages in order to inflict their ego and to give them a prominent place in Afro-Asian history. Not only were the people of Africa and Asia black in ancient time, but also the Europeans of the Mediterraneans. See, you have to understand there are people from other tribes. They see people think that black is just when you see somebody black, they thinking that it's about color. No, because you have people of other Asiatic age. You got some Asians that are dark. It's not really about color. You know what I mean? But uh, white supremacy throw this around to continue to perpetuate white supremacy and their ego. That's all it is. Not only were the people of Africa and Asia black in ancient time, but also Egyptians. Egyptian lands of the Mediterraneans, the Canaanites and the Phoenicians in Africa. The Canaanites and the Phoenicians in Africa. Their languages, which is called Hebrew, Phoenicians or Canaanite, was employed in the lands called Phoenician, are Armenians, and Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob came to Canaan. The Israelites lost their Abrahamic language and adopted the Hebrew speech of the Canaanites. The Hebrew, excuse, the Hebrew Phoenicians monarchs from the cities of Sidon and Tyre controlled the trade along the Mediterranean coast for more than 1,000 years before there were many economic traits made with the Israelites. I mean, treaties made with the Israelites. The Hebrew-speaking Phoenician Canaanites established their greatest city, Carthage, at the tons in North Africa. All the Canaanites were black people. That's an African tribe. You see what I'm saying? So when our people mix with these people, that's why we come up with these different futures that we have. So I'm not gonna read too much. I'm gonna have to. Some of the words I kind of missaid. I know I did, and I'm gonna have to go over them because I don't want to be giving people wrong information, man. Because I did have a reading problem when I was coming up. I used to be ashamed as to say, hold on, I'm trying to put my stuff in this bag, bro. But now that I understand and know where it come from, I'm not ashamed of it no more because it's like a sense of uh, you're proud of who you are. Like, all right, let me give you an example. Let me compare that to people who are black. Like our people. Some of us have our people have dark skin, dark complexion, and a lot of us grow up hating ourselves because we don't even like we're ashamed of it. We're ashamed. I used to be ashamed is to tell people. I used to get offended with my family members or let me say family people like that, a mother or something like that, because they made statements and said that, oh well, he couldn't read or write, or he was he can't do this, and he was he had this problem, he was in a type he grew up to where he was a slow learner and he couldn't really get this and he couldn't get that, all those things I can boldly come out and say I was ashamed of. I was ashamed of that type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? But it's like once I grew to and came to a knowledge, will it be safe for me to say? I'm just using it just for context, for the sake of, I'm just saying to put it into a proper context, of knowing and getting a general idea of who you are, then it kind of give you a sense and like, okay, it's a possibility. It could be something special about me or something. It could be something special. It's not that I'm exalting myself, but I'm just saying you learn to love and embrace your history. In other words, you see what I'm saying? It's more. Y'all tell me in the comment section if this made sense with what I said. Because I don't like using words like, oh, like I'm better than my people, nothing like that. But what I'm saying is, it's just like a man or woman. They hate their skin color because they're dark, because people look down on them because they have their skin color, and they're ashamed and embarrassed of it when because of slavery. You see what I'm saying? And once they come into a knowledge of knowing that Christ had dark skin just like them, and they read in the Bible that this man was a Christ, the greatest man, created everything. Then they come to realize, and they gladly embrace who they are. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, my situation is not the same, but I would say it's similar, if that makes sense. Now I could be wrong the way I'm putting my word. I'm doing the best I could and try to put all my words in the proper context. You see what I'm saying? In the right context, the true context. Not nothing that's going to mislead our people. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know how in the hell this is gonna come out. I don't know how in the hell this is gonna sound. I don't know, but I'm gonna go back and we'll look at it, and we'll just keep going from there. But people that hate their skin color as being a little darker, a little shade darker, or something like that, when they don't, when you don't have a knowledge of self and who you are, and a sense of self of who you are, then you can't truly embrace yourself the way that you want. You know what I'm saying? You really can't, because it would be impossible to do so. You know what I'm saying? And that's another real reason why a lot about what people, it's a reason, a psychological reason behind the reason why our people, our women, as we would say, is a certain way and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's because it's a deep psychological history behind it. And that's why I used to be upset and I used to be mad that I was getting rejected by a lot of sisters and things of that nature when I wanted to be involved with them and wanted to, to be with a sister or whatever, a woman or whatever. And then when I came into a knowledge of this here, it kind of slowed and it calmed me down a lot. You see what I'm saying? Of having that, I'm starting to understand, like, oh, okay, I see why. This is what's going on. This is what's happening. Because when I was like younger, I was completely blind. I didn't know. You know what I mean? And once the scale came off of my eyes, it opened me up in into a sense of, okay, this is the reason why they probably feel like this in the end, because they have been conditioned into that way of thinking. You see what I'm saying? Because at one time, according to God, we was tender and delicate at one time. We was loving toward each other. We was all these things. You see what I'm saying? But we're not like that anymore. And there's a reason. There's a deep psychological history behind everything and why these things happening the way that they are happening. Okay. Look, you heard me say. Yeah. Yeah. It's a deep psychological history behind it. And if you think about this today, we're still being portrayed as less than, threatening, all these different things. We still getting lower resources in the community, all kinds of little stuff. And so I guess that's it for right now. I don't want to mess the video up no further than what it already is. Hopefully it came out pretty good. Hopefully I don't have to go back and look at it and be like, man, I'm gonna erase this video. But I want to be able to do it, to try to edify. I'm trying hard is to edify my people and everything. So I'm gonna see y'all later. We'll talk a little bit later.